another little tidbit that came out this week was that they were kind of floating the idea of having Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. And I would assume if people had heard about this rumor online that they probably would have been a little bit excited about it, because it is kind of intriguing when you just say it. But allegedly Lesnar said no. And I made sure to pull up a quote from an article that talks about what exactly went down. So this is from Dutch Mantel, who used to be he was a wrestler. I don't know. So he's like podcast or something. So he said this on his podcast. He said that there would be no point in Lesnar facing Wyatt because there is no chance that Lesnar would agree to lose to him, and that he further stated that Lesnar would have left if he had been pressured into doing that feud. He said Brock's a multimillionaire. He'll just get up, walk out the door, and keep going. So they just can't do that. They don't want to do that with Brock because, they have to build their own. I don't know how you say it. They've built a monster in Brock because he doesn't need your money anymore. So he reportedly agreed to face Omos at Mania. And we know that now, even though they're still saying that Bray's match is scheduled to take place, we're still not really sure. But I'm not at all surprised to hear this, not just because it's from Lesnar, but this has been a talking point, I feel like, for a couple people. Rollins said that one of his most difficult feuds in the last couple of years was working with Bray, and it's just because of the creativity and the types of matches and just like all of this extra stuff that they have to do. And they're like, it was just very difficult. I forget who else had come out and said that it wasn't easy. I think, was it Randy had said something about working with him was difficult? I don't remember. Not necessarily like Wyndham himself, but just like
there's a lot. Yeah, there's
a complex character and storyline. Yes. So I want to just reiterate that it's not about himself, like Bray Wyatt, the man. Yeah. It's just the complexity of, and basically the like lack of boundaries that they really have and coming up with stories and what to do with his character. So it doesn't surprise me. Brock is very straightforward. He just wants to fight a dude that's like big and bad in the top, whatever. It's very much just like, okay, it's a fight. There's nothing more to it. So this didn't surprise me on a multitude of levels.
No, it just doesn't work. I mean, Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. He's not going to fight some supernatural being that already happens on the silver screen.
Yeah.
With Bray Wyatt and the difficulty of, making that character into something, the thing is, that was with Vince, and Vince did not understand the character. It's been reported that Vince did not get what made Bray Wyatt, but the fans did. And it's one of those moments where now that's not the issue. It's more the issue of like, I totally see Brock not wanting to do this because, I mean, to be honest, like I'd be confused, and it would kind of take a little bit of that monster, Brock Lesnar out of him, honestly. And it would just with Lashley, you could still do it because that's just Lashley. I mean, we've seen we've seen Brock Lesnar loosen up a little bit and try to be more personable like he was when he first got there. Mm-hmm. Bobby Lashley's always been this no-nonsense type of person.
Yeah.
So to pair him with Wyatt, it makes sense because you have the complete and utter nonsense in Bray Wyatt and the deep soul-searching, and then Bobby Lashley, who is, legitimately the dude from Planet Fitness. I pick things up and put them down.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mesh.
Yeah.
So because it doesn't mesh like that, it works. Where Lesnar, do you see what I mean?
I think also, like, now that they seem to have a little bit more freedom and a say in the things that they like and the things they don't like and what they want to do and what they don't want to do, it would be difficult to digest if like that weren't the case right now, because if it was forced between, for Lesnar to face Wyatt, it would be obvious to everybody, because you can tell like Lesnar doesn't do a whole lot of things that he doesn't want to do, but you can tell when like he's not in it. But with any actor, wrestler, whatever, you can tell when they're just not into what they're doing. And so it is like, it's not just a disservice to the performer, but it's a disservice to the audience, because then you're not living up to the potential of what this could be. And if you're not invested in it, then why would the fans be invested in it? So the fact that Lesnar was like, no, it might not have anything to do with, like I said, with the character, Bray Wyatt, the character or anything. But if he just was like, no, I'm not interested, and it's like, okay, I'd rather that be the case than us sitting here complaining about how horrible their feud and match was.
Yeah, exactly.